building every day. I teach in an elementary school, K-4, which is 4-year-olds, up through 5th grade. So you can imagine there's lots and lots of big emotions at an elementary school. Before I get to explaining the mood meter, I'm going to share with you a little story about a student that I had. So I was teaching 2nd grade that day. And how many of you have had substitute teachers before? Come on, be honest. I see a lot of you. Now, were you pretty forgiving to your substitute teachers? So, you can imagine it was a little bit of a rocky day. The students were a little rowdy. There was a lot of disruption, and I found myself starting to get escalated. And you can imagine my fists began to tighten. I started to clench my jaw. I could feel my brows coming down. And I didn't realize how frustrated I was until a 7-year-old girl said to me, "Mrs. Richard, I think you're in the red zone. I think that you might need to take some deep breaths." And don't you know what? That child was right. I was definitely in the red zone. I was very escalated. And I was able to stop and model to my students how to get myself calmed down and get back in that moment so that I could teach. It was out of the mouths of babes. I mean, it was amazing. And the way that child could do that is through a social and emotional curriculum that the school district of Lancaster uses called Ruler. And Ruler teaches children about their emotions. And one of the most important tools, one that I am so passionate about, is the mood meter. You can see it right up here. So the mood meter is a grid where on the y-axis, my husband made sure I said that correctly, the y-axis is denoting the energy level. And then the x-axis is the pleasantness. So as you can see, the red zone is high energy, but low pleasantness. The yellow is also high energy, but it's really, really pleasant. So that's where your excitement comes in. Like right now, I'm in the yellow. I'm super hyped. I'm excited. Thank you. The blue would be low energy and low pleasantness. So if you're having a rough day and you're feeling sad, depressed, sleepy, you're going to be in the blue zone. And then in the green zone, it is high pleasantness, low energy. So if you're feeling calm, sedate, relaxed, you're going to be in the green zone. Why is this important? So many of us have trouble identifying what our emotions are in the moment. And this is such an easy way. All of you could use this. You can picture it in your brain and be like, what zone am I in? And you would be able to figure it out. And then the most important thing is identifying your emotions. There are no bad emotions. They're just emotions. They're just feelings. But with using the mood meter, you can figure out where you're at. And then the most important part is then you can get yourself regulated once again. So say you realize like you're clenching your fists. You might be like, wait a minute, I'm in the red zone. I might need to take a breath. I might need to take a moment. Now, my school was a pilot school for Ruler. And we saw an amazing result of using social emotional learning. We went from, I believe it was, don't quote me on this, but in our first year piloting this with 2nd graders, there were something like 50 behavior concerns within the 57 days before implementation. After implementation, it dropped to like 20. And the most important thing is that our academic success went up as our behavior concerns went down. So it's really, really important for kids, but it's also really important for adults. Google Mood Meter, and you'll find lots of apps that you can download, and it can help you out, and it can change who you are, because once you identify your emotions, you are going to be set. So thank you.